This video is for the part 3 of the problem, best time to buy and sell stock on LeetCode. And incrementally, all of these problems are very challenging to solve and they have been asked by a lot of tech companies. So, if you have not understood the previous two problems, I would highly recommend you to stop this video right over here and check out those initial problems first. I have dedicated videos for both of those problems. Once you are ready, let us get started. First of all, as I mentioned, all of these problems are kind of related. They set up the same premise and kind of build on top of each other. So if you look at the first problem, basically you are given an array prices where each element determines the price of the stock on the ith day. Pretty simple, right? You are given this array and then you have to determine the maximum profit you can make. You are only allowed a single transaction. It means if you have bought a stock, then you have to sell it someday and then you cannot buy more stocks. And notice, this is a really important problem and more than 36,000 people like it. Now look at the next problem. Best time to buy and sell stock part 2. The entire premise remains the same. The only change that they have done is now you can make multiple transactions. That means you can keep on buying and selling as much number of times. You buy a stock and then you sell it some other day. In the future, you can again buy and again sell. That can allow you to book multiple profits. It means you buy at 1, sell at 5, buy at 3, sell at 6. All of this is actually possible. This problem was easily solved by a greedy approach and you found out the answer. Now comes the interesting part. This is the third part and notice that it is a hard problem. Also important, this problem has been liked by more than 10,000 people. It means it is really an interesting and an important problem to solve. So, how do things change over here? Well, the premise is again the same. You are given an array prices where each value determines the price on the ith day. The catch over here is that given all of these values, you can do at most 2 transactions. Now, whenever you see things like this, find out the 2 greatest numbers. Find out 2 transactions. This is where things actually become challenging. Because finding the maximum or minimum is a separate thing. But finding only 2 transactions that you can do, you're soon gonna realize the challenge that comes with it. For example, let us try to take up this particular test case. This is how my value of stock is fluctuating. If it was the greedy approach and you could do any number of transactions, then you see that these are the 4 profits that you can book. Plus 6, plus 3, plus 11 and plus 5. Perfect. You got a maximum profit of 25. But now you can only make 2 transactions. Suddenly you will feel that, okay, if I'm only allowed 2 transactions, then I am gonna choose the 2 maximum transactions that I can have. So over here, it looks like 11 is a good transaction and plus 6 is a good transaction. So I need to choose at most 2 transactions. If I do that, I am ignoring the transaction that happens over here and the transaction that happens over here. So I chose plus 6 and plus 11. Currently, this looks good and 17 is the correct answer over here. But sometimes things can get very wrong and this is where the problem becomes hard. For example, take a look at this particular test case now. You have all of these price fluctuations. Now, if you try to find out all of the possible transactions and pick out the best out of them, you see that, okay, with unlimited trades, 23 is the maximum profit. And this is exactly the second part of the problem. But now you have to choose only 2 transactions. You may feel that, okay, I will choose 9 and 10. That gives you a total of 19. It looks like the correct answer, but the actual correct answer is you do 1 transaction where you buy at 1 and then you hold it until the value is 12. And then the second transaction should be between 10 and 20. This is where the challenging part of the problem comes in. 21 is the answer you're looking for. Because with 2 transactions, this is the maximum profit that is available to you. And trust me, this is the only challenging part that you must understand to find an optimal solution to the problem. You have now determined that you need to find out the 2 best transactions, correct? And it is also given that both of these transactions cannot overlap. It means if you are doing a transaction, you buy a stock, then you have to sell it first before you can buy another stock. If you think about it, what does it do? It is basically dividing the problem into two halves. The first half is where you make the first transaction, and the second half is where you make the second transaction. If you now try to look at the problem again, if you try to see the test case now, you are actually just dividing this problem in two halves. One transaction needs to happen in part 1. The other transaction needs to happen in part 2. Theoretically speaking, this should give you the answer. All you need to determine is where will this divider lie? Where are you going to make the first transaction and in which portion you are going to make the second transaction? After that, the solution to the left half and solution to the right half. It is literally the problem 1 that we started with. That is the best time to buy and sell stock part 1. Because you have to do the best transactions in the left half and you have to do the best transaction in the right half. That is the beauty of all of the hard problems. They are gonna involve two concepts and you just have to figure out how the iteration is gonna happen. Because naturally, when we look at an array, we try to think upon each of the individual elements. That is how we iterate. Over here, you need to iterate upon this divider. This divider is gonna go through and keep on dividing the array into two parts at every iteration. And you need to determine, okay, this is one best transactions in the left half and this is one best transaction in the right half. When you have both of these best transactions, then you just add them up and it gives you the correct answer. I'll tell you and walk you through this entire thing, but just try to wrap your head around it a little bit. Now, how do we find out all of these best transactions? If you think about it, to find the transaction in the left half, what is it? It is basically the first part of the problem, that you're given an array and you have to find out the best transaction. What did we do? We kept a track of the maximum profit possible so far. That is how we kept on iterating, correct? So over here, I have the same array with me. I am gonna maintain one array known as left. This is gonna keep a track of all of the best transactions possible when I'm going from left to right. So when I start to iterate upon this array, what did we do? We kept a value called minimum so far and then try to determine, okay, what is the profit possible? At day 0, I don't have anything, so no profit possible. When I move ahead, the price drops. So again, no profit possible. Once I go to 11, I can have a profit of 6. Once I go ahead, the price has dropped, so I cannot have any better profit. So I maintain a 6 over here. Go ahead, the price rises and the profit is 3. It is still less than my maximum profit so far, so I don't update this value. The value goes to 2, nothing. The value goes to 9. The profit is now 7 because the minimum value has changed. So I book this value and I know that at this particular divider, my maximum profit on the left is 7. That is what we are doing. You keep on iterating ahead, and once we have reached the very end, we have now populated our entire left array. This is telling me that for every divider, what is the maximum profit I can have on the left side. Now is the time that we try to determine the profit going from right to left. So if we start to do it, on the first day, the value is 6. I can't do anything, so just leave it out. If I go back, I need to look, okay, what is the minimum value of the stock possible? So at this point, the best transaction you could do is buy at 1, sell at 6. So I record a value of 5 over here. This is the maximum profit possible on the right section if I have only these two values available. I keep on going ahead. The value now changes to 13. This is a high sell value, but I need to buy the stock also, right? So up till now, the maximum profit possible is still 5. And I say that because look at only this part of the array. If you have only these three elements, 13, 1 and 6, this is the maximum profit you can book. Keep on going ahead. The value now changes to 9. 9 and 13, the profit is 4, but a better profit is available between 1 and 6. So I don't update this value. Move ahead. the value drops to 2, and the maximum so far is 13. The profit is available 11, which is greater than 5, so I update my value. This way, you keep on going ahead and populate this entire right array. All of my values are now complete. So what did we do? We have now kind of determined that for every divider, what is the best value possible on the left and what is the best value possible on the right. What I'm trying to say is, if I pick a divider, let us say this is my divider, it has now divided my array in two halves, left and right. I have to pick two trades. So I know from this chart that the best trade available on the left is between 5 and 6. This is a value of 7. And the best trade available on the right is between 1 and 6. That is the value 5. So if my divider is over here, this is the maximum profit that I can book. Now, if I have to determine the maximum profit throughout my array, this divider can move along. So that is exactly what I do. I now iterate my divider upon each value. When my divider is over here, on the left, I don't have anything. So the profit is 0. On the right, I have this complete array. So I can book a maximum profit of 11. So the total sits 11 over here. I move the divider. On the left, I just have a single element. So I cannot make any profit. It is still 0, but on the right, notice that this trade of 11 still holds true. So the best value is still 11. Move your divider. Now on the left, you can have a transaction of 6, and on the right, you can have a transaction of 11. This gives you a maximum value of 17. Basically, you are just adding both the values of left and right array for your total array. You keep on going ahead and notice how the transactions on the left and right determine what is the best trade possible. You keep on iterating and notice the change in the value of the total. Once you have iterated through all of the elements of left and right, just look at your total array and look at the maximum value that you achieve. That is 17, and that is the maximum profit possible. Because you had to choose two transactions, they had to be between a left half and a right half, and that is the maximum value possible. Notice over here that we only do 3 iterations of the entire array. So my time complexity remains order of n, and I'm taking up this extra space to store the left and the right array. That gives me a space complexity also of order of n. If you feel confident enough with the solution, I would highly recommend you to stop this video right over here and try to write down the code. Use AI or just give the instructions and try to determine how the code should look like. If you're still facing troubles, let us quickly do a dry run of the code and everything will be crystal clear. So what do? We have our function max profit and it takes in the prices array as the input parameter. You initialize your left and right array and then you start populating all of the values. You start to do the left half first. It is gonna iterate through each element and keep on populating the left array based upon the minimum value so far and the maximum profit you can book. This is literally the first part, best time to buy and sell stock part 1. Then you are going to populate your right array. And it is almost a similar concept. You look at the maximum value of a stock and the minimum that you have achieved. Then try to determine, okay, this is the maximum profit I can achieve going from right to left. You keep on iterating and you have now populated your right array. After this, the process is very, very simple. You just start one more for loop. And in this, you are going to find the maximum value of the left and the right when added up. So you keep on iterating through all of this. You notice that 17 is going to be the best value once you complete your iteration. And then you simply return your answer. If someone asks you that, okay, can you also tell me what are the stocks that you're holding? You just need to maintain those pointers and then return it as your answer. I really believe this simplifies the solution a lot. I know that there is also another solution which can work in order of one-time complexity, but honestly, this is a good enough solution and it is also acceptable on LeetCode. What other solutions do you think? What problems did you face? Tell me everything in the comment section below and I would love to discuss all of it with you. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This really keeps me motivated and I can make more such videos. Also, a huge shout out to all of the members who support my channel. You guys really keep me going. As a member, you do get priority reply to comments and early access to new videos as well. Also remember that now you can schedule a one-to-one session with me and we can discuss about almost anything. Stay tuned for my upcoming video. Until then, see ya.